Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In today's session, we are majorly going to discuss about part B of the NLSAT exam, where there are analytical essays which are asked, right? So, what we are going to do in this session is considering the previous year papers. Of course, we have the database where we have some memory-based papers, right, of the topics. So, in this, what we are going to do is we have categorized five different areas or five major areas considering the PYPs that on which type of topics there are analytical essays which are asked. Like it can be last year, like GST was there, right? So in before that, multiple topics came in which are related to few are related to judiciary, few are related to say social issues, few are related to economy. So we have taken out different five priority areas, and on those five priority areas, on each area, I'll give you a list of 10 most probable topics which can be asked in your exam. And after the 50 topics, I will give you a list of few topics, the high probability topic you can say, right? The star topics, the five-star topics on which you should practice the essays. So I will give you that list of around 10 topics. And in the end, I will tell you what are the ways in which you should write these essays, right? So basic framework of essay. What exactly is the basic framework of essay or how the essay should be formed? So let's start without wasting time with the first area, that is constitutional and legal related themes, right? So this theme is related to constitution and legal issues. Now this is one of those themes which is repeating themes, all right, or one of those themes which historically was having very important, but in recent few times this theme is not that asked. But yes, if you see the history of the exam, yes, these themes were the prominent themes which were asked. Within this, if you see constitutional and legal theme, basic structure doctrine in contemporary India. So they are attaching everything with the contemporary India or the status of all those things in the contemporary of the latest India. This is the trend that we have. कि एक पुरानी चीज उठाई जाए, एक कुछ बेसिक चीज उठाई जाए एंड उसको करंट कंटेक्स्ट में डाल के पूछा जाए, जैसे कि द इंपॉर्टेंस और कंटेम्पररी सिचुएशन ऑफ डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर or judicial activism versus judicial overreach. So do we having judicial overreach now? There are certain cases where we can find these issues, so that is another issue. Uniform civil code debate after the Uttarakhand, right? This has become very important topic. Then freedom of speech versus hate speech regulation. We can see the cases of whether it is Kunal Kamra related case or whether it is, you can say, the issues which are happening in the Parliament of India during the sessions, right? That is there, or during the elections, different types of speeches given by political person, those are also there. Federalism and center state conflict, mainly in news because of Tamil Nadu related issue, the governor issue of Tamil Nadu, where governor of Tamil Nadu, R.N. Ravi, was not passing majority of the, you can say, rules, regulations formed by the Tamil Nadu government, and Tamil Nadu government even reached to the Supreme Court of India. So federalism and the center state conflict that we have. Role of PIL, public interest litigation in governance. This is one of the old topic. Separation of power in India. Do we really have that separation of judiciary, legislative and executive, when India does not have that watertight partition which USA have, and how it goes, that can be asked. Electoral reforms and constitutional morality. So we are following a lot of electoral reforms. Mainly corruption is one of the issue that we have, or the you can say criminalization of politics which is happening in our country. This topic can be related to that criminalization of politics that we have, right? So we need constitutional reform in this. Right to privacy in digital age, one of the prominent topics which can be asked. From this page, I feel one is Uniform Civil Code, which is very important. And second is right to privacy in digital age, because we have got the right to privacy under Article 21 as right to life under the Puttaswamy case. But do we have correct, you can say, draft data protection bill or the data protection bill that we have? Is this going good or bad? Then preventive detention, necessity or misuse. This also we can see in multiple states, multiple places it is happening, and that's why it can be important. Second is governance and democracy. One nation, one election, one of the most prominent topic. This debate is going on, right? It is going on since long. Do we really need this? Is it going to reduce the expenditure or is it going to increase the expenditure? Even there was committee on this issue under the former president of India, Ramnath Kovind ji. So that's why it became important. The next is criminalization of politics, just so we talked about it. Role of independent institutions. Now, this is also very much in news because these name, as they suggest, independent institution or many a times autonomous institution, but we can see the misuse of institutions like election commission or CBI or ED, and that is happening continuously since long period, or you can say there are claims at least that this is happening, and that's why this can be another important topic, I feel. Then parliamentary disruption and democratic functioning, the way the output of parliament has started declining. Transparency versus national security, right? What is more important in the country? Then, mainly because of, you can see even one virus came in news called Pegasus, through which government can have an eye, or even there was recently one government app also, Sarthi, right, which was there in news, and because of that also this issue was in news. Then next is anti-defection law reforms. We can see this is evergreen topic. We can see every year there are certain defection which are happening, certain governments which are falling, and this has also become very prominent in recent time. That's why it is important. Data governance and state surveillance. Now, data globalization, data localization. This debate is also very prominent. Data globalization means we allow our countries' people ka data to be stored in foreign country and to be used by foreign countries, and data localization, that means it should be stored in India and should not be used by the outsider. So we have privacy. So this issue is also going on. Role of media in democracy. So we can see there is very important role considered as fourth pillar of democracy, but it is not functioning correctly. That's why this role can be asked, right? Coalition politics in India, which is happening in multiple states, like in Maharashtra or in different states of India. And because of that, multiple states are facing a lot of problems. And lastly, civil services reforms. It was there in news recently when the cadre allocation related news was there, right? Cadre allocation related news was there. Then next is technology and law. This is very high probability because in recent time, this area has been the area of high focus in your exam. इस एरिया के ऊपर बहुत सारे एनालिटिकल ऐसे पूछे गए पिछले कुछ टाइम में. दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज वन ऑफ द हाई फोकस एरियाज एंड द टॉपिक्स mainly related to AI, regulations of AI. Recently, even AI की the summit है, which was hosted by India, right, a few days back. Deepfakes and legal liability. 2 3 days back, it was there in news because of deepfake video of our own Om Birla, the Speaker of Lok Sabha. That's why it was there in news. Then Data Protection Act and digital rights, platform regulations, social media liability, social media intermediaries, and the regulation mainly. This was there in news because of Sahyog portal, right? Soyok portal, which was challenged earlier by Twitter and then by Kunal Kamra. So this is another important news that you can see, another important area. Cryptocurrency regulation in India, we can see there is huge rise and fall which is happening in the cryptocurrency. Even there can be connection of gold and silver related prices and stocks that countries are keeping, right? So gold and silver related price issue, this can also be asked in your exam. Then cybercrime and cross-border jurisdiction of cybercrime, Jamtara season 1, Jamtara season 2. There is one report also which is called as Global Risk Report. In that Global Risk Report, from the Indian perspective, the biggest risk in immediate 2 years for India is cyber-related issues, cyber threats, cyber security related issues that we have. Then algorithm bias and equality law. Then next is digital monopolies and competition law in India. So these are few prominent topics. Facial recognition versus privacy. Will this be, is it good or bad or what exactly it is? Online misinformation and free speech. This is another threat which is considered in this century. Even banning of the online games, or you can say money related games, that can also be asked, right? So banning of money related games, that can also be asked because it was in news, and very big company called Dream 11, right, because of this one decision it was almost shut down, right? Then constitutional law and justice system. Implementation of new criminal law, BNS, BNSS, VSA, and what are the implications which are happening. Death penalty debate in India, prison reforms that we should have, bail versus jail jurisprudence, police reforms and accountability, victim rights in criminal justice, mob lynching, one of the important area, right? And legal responses, because we are seeing multiple instances of this. Forensic evidence and free trial, fast track courts effectiveness. This can be another area because our judicial system is having a lot of problems. AI in criminal investigation, this can be another important area, right? This can be another important area which can be asked. So next, on the last area, social justice and rights. This is another, or you can say second high probability area. So first high probability is technology. On the second, it is social justice. Gender justice and workplace equality, very much in news. LGBTQIA plus rights, right? This is another favorite area of your exam, जो पूछे जाता है. Reservation policy recently because of this UGC issue, right? UGC related committee issue came in, and because of that, reservation also came in news. The next is environmental justice and climate litigation. When we see long-term threats, the environmental threats are the biggest threat that we have, and that's why and India's performance at climate change related things, this can be asked. This is another important area. Then next is migrant workers and labor rights. We can see some issues which are happening in our country as well. Whether it is we are in Maharashtra or in Karnataka or in different states, we are seeing the problem of migrant workers. Child protection law and related challenges. So this is another important area. Disability rights and accessibility. Tribal rights development. Gig economy, very important. I feel this can be another important area. Gig economy workers, employment status and debate. So this is very much in news after Rajasthan government, right, working on it, and Aam Aadmi Party government calling about it, right? Aam Aadmi Party, not government, Aam Aadmi Party के few leaders like Raghav Chadda working on this issue, gig economy जो Blinkit, Instamart, Swiggy इन सब पे काम करते हैं उनके लिए rights की बात की गई. Rule of law in balancing the development and sustainability. So these are few important areas which we can see. Within this, the most probable or most important one is technology and law, right? How the new technologies are coming in and how we are dealing with it. If you want to identify the most important topics from all these, the star topics, the five-star list, you can say that five-star list of mine is first having uniform civil code. Second is AI and related regulation. This can be important area. New criminal law implementation, data protection and privacy, one nation, one election, judicial activism versus overreach, environmental justice, gig workers' right, deep fakes and misinformation, and lastly, electoral reforms. These are the few most important areas or the five-star areas that I found or I thought are the important ones on which you should study, on which you should work. These are having very high probability to be asked in your exam. And in the last, if we see what structure should you follow generally. So first, when we talk about writing an answer, first thing you should do is introduction, define the issue in 2 to 3 lines and the constitutional context of the issue. Then why that issue is relevant today, set a background. Then next is argument in favor, then argument against. You should ideally talk about both the things, in favor as well as against, because whenever there is a topic of essay, it is having both the sides. So you should not ideally take any side in these essays, whether you should go against or go in favor. You should just give idea. Okay, this is the introduction, this is the background, these are the arguments in favor, these are arguments which are against. Then give reference of some case laws, how it is related to your example exam, and it can say it can prove that how you are well versed with your, you can say, study about the topic and background of the issue and importance of this, that issue from the judicial perspective. Then you should give a balanced reform, a way forward. You should give a balanced reform, a way forward that we should follow. So favor में there are few good things, argument against में there are few bad things. So just repeat those things. आप थोड़ा उसके बारे में बता सकते हो. These are the areas on which we should work and these are the things that we should do. And finally, give a conclusion which is value-based constitutional closing related conclusion होना चाहिए कि this is right, this is wrong, इस तरीके से ये होना चाहिए, right? So this is how you should generally follow in your exam, and these are the most important topics that I felt that you should know from your exam perspective. And इनके ऊपर at least practice कर लेना writing an essay with this framework. And I hope you like the session. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next session. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye. Thank you.